so many people are so negative and you're just like, yay!
Sure.
It's quite draining.
Hello everyone, it's Dick here. A couple of weeks ago now, my buddy Bones and I ventured up to Birmingham to attend this year's Motorcycle Live show at the NEC. Motorcycle Live is one of the two UK motorcycle trade shows held each year, the other being the MCN show in London. I don't count the Bike Shed Circle Jerk as one, even though a smattering of manufacturers have been given access for commercial reasons. The bikes shown there are usually out of reach for the position of bikers and enthusiasts. NEC usually comes on the heels of the Esposizione Internazionale del Ciclo Motociclo Accessori, or EICMA, the International Exhibition of Cycles, Motorcycles, and Accessories. One of my riding buddies, after hearing how much the day out cost me to go to Birmingham, including fuel, food, the £18 parking, and £27 entry and processing fees, suggested that next year we save some money and attend EICMA instead. The Birmingham show is usually well attended as it attracts everyone who didn't get to be in Milan, but somehow got seduced by what announcements were wafting over this way, myself included. If you've been following my channel lately, you'll know that I've been taking more of a bird's eye view of all things motorcycling. In my last video, I waxed intellectual about my feelings towards the current state of affairs in the industry. After publishing the video and reading drips and drabs from EICMA, I thought maybe I was premature in my most recent declaration of disappointment. So I decided to enlist my buddy Bones and perhaps have my mind changed in Birmingham. I was already drafting my retraction in my head on the drive up. I mean, it has been a couple of years since I attended a motorcycle show. Maybe my cynicism has gotten the better of me, again. Perhaps 2024 would break the apathetic routine manufacturers have slotted themselves into since before the COVID-19 pandemic. There was chatter of big announcements and as many as 55 new models on display. So as Bones and I trekked the half a mile from the overpriced corralled car park, I allowed myself a dash of enthusiasm. I'll save you any suspense. Motorcycle Live didn't live up to the hype, and if you didn't go, be happy that you didn't. If you include the new Kawasaki's and Suzuki's, which no one does, as well as the Chinese clones and Chinese rebrands, the electric appliance scooters, and the other tat, there was probably 55 or more new models. But did I feel like anything was new or exciting or innovative? Not really. The Kawasaki Hybrid was intriguing, but it didn't seem like Kawasaki thought so themselves, judging by the complete lack of information or representatives hawking the thing. The new BMW 1300 GS got a lot of lip service and attention by the folks at BMW, but I think they were doing damage control from the backlash of internet hatred in response to its new headlamp. The Royal Enfield Himalayan was finally displayed, one on a plinth and one tucked into a tiny constructed corner, oddly. Very weird placement for the announcement of the year. And it was displayed with no price, which was actually a very strategic move since the overriding theme of the show was how expensive everything had become. For the majority of models whose only updates were paint schemes, all of the bikes were thousands of pounds more expensive than in recent years. Bikes that were all safely under £10,000 are now at or well over. Every adventure bike, no matter where they live in the pecking order, costs in excess of £15,000. Who's buying a Versys for $17,000? All of the Triumphs are over £10,000 now, save for the new Indian-made 400s, which were getting a lot of attention at £5,000. A fact that I think contributed to Royal Enfield's decision to withhold the price for the new Himi, which didn't look nearly as nice as the two Triumphs. And we know now that the Himalayan is just under or over £6,000 depending on accessories, which is shocking to me seeing as I got my Triumph Street Cup for that much in 2019. Yeah, COVID, Brexit, war in Ukraine, war in Israel, cost of living, inflation, blah 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 blah. Profiteering fucks the lot of ya. And when you say, Dick, you cheap bastard, this is what things cost now, I will tell you that I'm not the only one reacting this way, as the most overheard comment among friends attending was the shock at how much more expensive everything was.
Some bloke going, that's inflation boy, and that's what everybody's walking around.
Yeah, everyone's going, what the fuck? Yeah, look at how expensive these are. That's the takeaway. The takeaway is bikes are more expensive now, every single time.
I'd also add, if a motorcycle costs near as much, or in most cases, more expensive than a full-size automobile, we are being sold a pig in a poke. We can generally thank predatory lenders for expanding their scope here in the UK for these high prices. Like in other areas, these shysters take advantage of aspirational consumers who in the old days would buy a motorcycle in their means and perhaps save up for their dream bike. Now, with the prevalence of the personal contract purchase, or PCP, here in the UK, before Liz Truss and the ever-rising interest rates, a consumer could put £100 down and pay £100 a month for many bikes once out of reach. Some have celebrated this phenomenon, but it has allowed for the drastic spike in the cost of bikes across the market, and has strangled the used bike market, as end-of-contract bikes are now flooding the market with speculative inflated equity values attached by the dealers who are stuck with them. All in all, the show was not the mind-blowing, reinvigorating experience for which I was hoping. When I arrive at shows or events lately, or force myself to read industry trade articles, I foolishly think that the Japanese will announce that they have secretly joined forces and will unveil the next step in two-wheeled transport evolution, but even they seem content with repainting old models and raising the price for them. Don't get me wrong. It was a nice day out with my friend Bones, and it's always good to throw a leg over some bikes, old or new. But ultimately, my current position stands. I'm bored of the motorcycling industry. It is stuck in a rut, and it doesn't seem to know how or even want to get out of it.
And also, I can't get excited for 15 grand.
Get used to it, mate. That's what they cost, man.
Gone are the days of new bikes for me, I guess.
If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.